thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us your role?
Okay, I am Naoto Sugiyama, executive producer of Mother Soul Suspect from Square Enix Japan.
Okay. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the game before we go into anything else?
So, Mother Soul Suspect is all about solving your own murder case as a ghost. And then we have a protagonist, Rona O'Connor. He's a Ceylon Police Department detective, homicide detective actually. And then he is chasing a case which terminates his life actually. And now he's got the second chance to find his own killer and why.
Okay. What gave you the idea for this particular story?
Okay, so the creative director Yosuke Shiokawa from Square Enix Japan. Actually, he's been with the Kingdom franchise for a decade, I think. Anyways, he was watching movie Die Hard. And believe it or not, a weird idea descended into his brain, and he thought about what if John McClane gets killed before he saves the people in Nakatomi building, and he figured out that this guy's not gonna give up. He is going to save his wife and people in that building as a ghost. So that became sort of a core of this game's concept. Ever since we added so many ideas and we made a super original story. So, but it definitely is a kernel of this game.
Do you want to describe a little bit of how the gameplay works?
Okay, so the core gameplay here is a investigation gameplay, and then in that investigation gameplay, what you do is you search each investigation scene and find clues, and each critical clue has a memory flashback, and then you extract those flashbacks, and then you piece those flashbacks together to recreate and see what exactly had happened there. And that's sort of a basic structure of the investigation gameplay. And on top of this, there's some supporting mechanics here, like cerebral combat, I would say. So it's not like combat you expect from some action games. It's more cerebral. You have to observe enemies behaviors and make your strategy before you jump in. You can take them down, but at the same time you don't have to do that if these demons are so overwhelming. So you might want to think about a walk around. And also there's some traversal puzzles, and actually one of them is quite interesting. You can possess a black cat to find a path that the ghost cannot go through.
And the game is obviously quite dark looking.
Mm-hmm.
What made you set the game in Salem, and what were the reasons behind the certain art style of the game? Okay,
so we were heavily influenced by a movie 7. So the type of mystery we were seeking for was not like we have like 10 suspects screaming, "Hey, I might be the guy." Instead, we wanted to have in a movie 7, it's not about who did it, right? Actually, he turns himself in later on. It's about what he did and why he did it. That made the game, the movie so memorable and so shocking. We wanted to pursue that kind of the mystery. And we were inspired the atmosphere, by its atmosphere as well. So that's how we got sort of I would say psychological suspense type. And we wanted to make sure that the narrative experience is going to be, sort of supported by the art style of the game.
Okay. The lead character's got quite a lot of distinctive tattoos.
Right.
Is there any reason behind that, and does that evolve throughout the game?
So tattoos, fedora, endless smoking, and this guy's troubled in the childhood and everything. There was a lot of debate actually how we want this guy to be. But one thing we really wanted to avoid is that this guy is going to be another tough gumshoe, and they just take things seriously and go all dark way. We wanted this guy to be sort of having a depth in his character, and we threw everything we thought it's gonna deepen his character and memorable.
Excellent. He interacts with a number of different ghosts throughout the story. Are most of those ghosts integral to the main story, or do a lot of those involve sort of side quests?
So some are definitely, tied to a critical path story that you have your Mata case and Belker case, and some are related to a backstory, and some are totally separated. It's just there's some side quests that you help these ghost NPCs to move on. This mini investigation to do that.
Okay. The game's obviously coming out on both, well, I always said next gen, but it's current gen now and previous gen.
Right.
Are there any significant differences in the games other than possibly graphics related?
So instead of retrofitting all those fit in the current gen console features, we decided to focus on our core value, which is a narrative experience. And then, definitely, like I said, the art style is helping, the narrative experience. So we decided to focus on the visual fidelity upgrade.
How long is the actual game in terms of gameplay hours?
Right, we get that question for so many times, and we actually did a comprehensive test, and it just varied so much that to the extent that it's so hard to tell the average gameplay hours. So it really depends on how you play this game. If you rush through, definitely you're gonna finish this sooner. But there's so many things you can interact in the world. That's actually the one of the unique strong point of this game. Many narrative experience games, narrative driven games, and the mystery solving adventure type. And don't let you do all those explorations and interactions, but we wanted people to enjoy being a ghost and do ghostly things. So we have so many things, and if you interact and if you do all those interactions, it takes a lot of time. So it really depends on how you play it, but we definitely encourage players to interact as many stuff as possible, because it is going to make your the critical path story experience richer.
Excellent. You mentioned obviously ghostly abilities. What sort of abilities does he have? So
investigation side, obviously he has an ability to extract memory flashbacks from key evidences, something you cannot do as a living detective. And also one of the biggest advantage of being a ghost detective is actually you can interrogate ghost witnesses and the victims themselves, which is exciting. Yeah.
So can you explore much of Salem, or are you pretty much guided into the various areas?
So it's not like Salem as it is, it's our reimagined Salem. So, but that said, the structure of the game is a hub and spoke style, and you can definitely do exploration as much as you can, and you can do go around the whole town.
Now, obviously, he's investigating his own murder, which is the main premise of the story.
Right.
But he's also got to deal with demons.
Right.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about the demons and the role they play within the game?
Right. So there's an interesting, conversation, discussions, or debate actually in early phase of this, project. We definitely wanted to have a threat from the dusk/afterlife world. We didn't want to, ghosts take sweet time and just relax and see if they can finish unfinished businesses. We wanted that place dangerous to ghosts to create the tension. But what's the threat to ghosts? They're dead, right? So we have a debate as to if we have enemies in this world. And then we are watching a movie Ghost. And then, if you remember, have you watched?
Oh yes, the
black shadow guys up there, and the bad ghost. They get pulled down to somewhere, which I assume is a super bad place.
Not somewhere you want to visit.
Exactly. So these guys became the demons in our game. So the threat to ghosts, And then, like I said, it's a several type combat and sort of stealthish actually, because these guys are so overwhelming. Once you got found, it's so hard to get away from these guys. So you have to make sure that you understand, their behavior patterns, and then make your strategy whether you're gonna take them down or you're just gonna walk around and then jump in. That's the kind of combat we have in this game.
So what's next for you then?
Well, obviously you were focusing on finishing the game and make sure that we deliver this game to gamers. So time will tell after that.
Excellent. And when is the game out?
June 3rd in North America, and June 6th in Europe.
Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.